That's right. Code Bets player props for today, Friday, September 15. I'm going to lean back in. This is one I had a couple of days ago. The Toby Green, I think we broke this down the AFL show. I am absolutely loving this 20 goal and 20 disposals.
20 goals.
20 disposals, 3 goals, over $5. Lock me in there, Eddie. And there was another one for the NFL. My big play is going to be Justin Fields this week. Before I get to that, I mentioned the Dak Prescott cutout earlier in the week for MVP. Word of advice, I think, for Dak, jump on him now because they're going to absolutely demolish a rate in the New York Jets after Aaron Rodgers goes down with his blown Achilles. They're going to absolutely kill the Jets this week. So Dak is only going to shorten as, like, even if he's not doing much, he will still sort of cruise through just because he's the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. But keep an eye on Tua. Tua Tagovailoa, Miami Dolphins quarterback, was awesome in week 1. His odds dropped dramatically. They're playing the Pats this week, so just hold off on Tua for one more week and then maybe jump on because it might bounce back up. Just saying. One more running quarterback. That was my player prop for this weekend that I'm absolutely all on board with. I'm actually all on board Jalen Hurts as well, but that game's today when the Eagles take on the Vikings. I'm on Hurts 2+ touchdowns and 40+ yards. Justin Fields, similar vibes. Tampa Bay, they went into Minnesota last week and won in week 1. Very strange. Weird game. The defense, the Tampa Bay thing is like, oh, they've got a lot of veterans, you see. They're pretty good. I say bollocks to that. Give me the Chicago Bears to come out of absolutely nowhere after just looking like a bit of a mess against Green Bay. I think they go down to Tampa Bay and just put one on this Buccaneers team. I'm always wary of teams that look good in week 1. You're like, geez, I didn't expect that. You've spent the entire offseason going into the numbers, digging into stuff and going, I don't think they'll be good. Then 1 week, they're good, and you're like, oh, throw it all out the window. No chance. We're going Justin Fields, 60+ rushing yards and an anytime touchdown. That's $3.60. You can also give me 2 touchdowns for Juzzy Fields because once he gets going, boy, does he get going. But my favorite stat about this was 9 of his last 10 over the back end of the season last year, he hit over 60 yards rushing. Wow. 9 of the last 10.
Wow.
And he had 7 touchdowns in that time as well. He had 59 last week. It barely felt like it. I think against his Tampa Bay defense that does have a defensive coach, that does have some pretty wily veterans, I still think you can run on him. So look to Justin Fields against Tampa Bay at any time and 60+, $3.60, probably my favorite NFL play this weekend. If you want to tag in like 200 passing yards and stuff for him as well as a passing touchdown, go nuts, but I'm just going to lean on his rushing. Alex, what are you looking at?
Yeah, having a look at the EPL over the weekend, some goal scorers. We'll start off with the best Norwegian player in the EPL, the most handsome one. That is Martin Odegaard. Shots fired. Anytime goal scorer against Everton. Well, he's definitely more handsome than Haaland. He's not a better player. $3.20 for him to score over the weekend. Look, he scored a goal in 4 of Arsenal's last 5 away games on a Sunday. We love those little specific ones. I do remember him lashing one on his left foot into the bottom corner against Newcastle late in the season. And also, he's been the first goal scorer in 2 of Arsenal's last 3 away games just in general as well. So that's one of the things he's added to his game in the last sort of 12 months if you go back to the start of last season. He started scoring more goals, and it's what has made everyone go, hey, he's really good. Everyone quickly forgets he was like supposedly the next coming of Jesus about 8 years ago when he was 16.
It's good,
Exactly. He scored 10 away goals since the start of last season as well. So the thing is, he gets the job done away from home, which...
How many goals did Jesus have last week?
Yeah, true. He's got
Gabriel Jesus only had like 9 last year, so yeah.
If you get all the Jesuses in the world, that'd be pretty good stats.
Yeah, right. So yeah, scored 10 away goals since the start of last season, which is really important in games like this. You need your big players to step up on away days. Like, how many times have people stats go, no, this? There's a massive argument online all the time, and it's really stupid. Bruno Fernandes is better than Martin Odegaard, and then everyone's like, look at Fernandez's stats away from Old Trafford and against good teams.
And away from the penalty spot, Fernandes.
Yeah, exactly. So Odegaard, anytime goal, $3.20. Pretty happy to take that. We'll move across to another player who actually used to play for Everton, funnily enough, is Anthony Gordon. He plays for Newcastle. He's $3 to score anytime. And geez, in these first couple of games this season, since he came across from Everton in the January transfer window, our summer, last season, and it took him a while to get going, and this season he's just hit the ground running. He scored the first goal in 2 of his last 3 games when Newcastle have been favourite. I'm just on him to score any time. I think they'll get the job done against Brentford this weekend in what looms as a really tricky game, but $3 for him to score. He's just finding ways to cut into the box late. They've got a lot of attacking options, Newcastle, and he just sort of seemingly finds himself in the right position more times than not. And $3 for him to score as well, I'm pretty happy with.
Nice one. Do we know if he's into Maximo Park, though, one of Newcastle's finest bands?
Sure.
Maybe.
He's not allowed to drive, I know that.
Not great. What about there? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Basically, to hit a point, though, obviously very clearly, Jesus overrated.
What about the Super Jesus?
Adelaide's finest.
Yeah,
I mean, if you need a soundtrack for a V8 race, boom, Super Jesus.
Gravity does rule.
Banger tunes. Just, I don't know. So I just don't want to say anything bad about Sarah McLeod because she could definitely kick the crap out of me. Stats guy.
And she does listen to the show, actually. Yeah.
Absolutely huge. She's
her and Gareth Southgate, big listeners of the Code Bet Daily.
She posts a lot of weird political stuff.
Stop picking Harry Maguire, Gareth.
All right, Stats guy, take it away.
Yeah, early Brownlow look. Nick Daicos to have the most.
Dominic Daicos, the youngest.
He's a new brother. I don't know why I said it like that. Nick Daicos, the most 3-vote games this year. He's $2.75, which I was pretty surprised about, which is the favourite in this market, but I think that's where you can find some value for Daicos here. He's got an amazing start to the season, averaging 37 disposals and a goal through the first 6 games, which was absolutely awesome. All the Brownlow trackers have him having at least 2 to 3 3-vote games just in that period alone. I reckon he could even push up to 4. Every time you look at the stats, he's leading the stats. He affected the games immensely. He showed his versatility playing midfield and back, and then even a little bit forward when he was kicking goals. I think through the middle part of the season, he had 3 games where he kicked 2 or more goals. He can do it all. Most predictor sites have him clearly has the most 3-vote games. I think, that's pretty accurate, especially when Bont is his the next favourite, and they didn't even make the finals. When you're winning games, I think that's a massive, as history suggests, that's a massive thing to have in the Brownlow. So Pies, obviously, were the minor premiers, had a lot more wins than the Bulldogs. Bont, I think he probably was best on in a lot of games. I think Alex was talking about it once before. If you're best on, though, and you're losing by a big margin, you're not going to get the 3 votes usually. So I think he'll have a lot of 1 to 2 vote games. Doesn't even matter if he loses the Brownlow on this one, Nick Daicos. I just think 3 votes, he's going to get the most. Just that's how he rolls. They got a lot of wins, and he was the main part of it.
I love this bet because it does feel like Daicos' ceiling from game to game with his votes was probably higher than Bont's. Even just the eye test is literally like, I feel like Bont's going to be much more of an accumulator across the season where it's like 1 here, 2 there, 1 here, best on ground 3, 1 here, 2 there, whereas Daicos is going to be 3.
Yeah. 3.
What price was Errol? I reckon he's a danger because all of his big vote games will be 3s.
I didn't see his... Yeah, I think he'll have a lot of 3s towards the end, but I feel like Daicos will still blow that up.
I might have something on Errol and Toby Green because Toby probably gets 7 3-voters and that'll be it.
Yeah,
I won't have the volume.
I didn't have mentioned Lockie Neal as well. I think he's got a few midfielders around him that can steal the votes, and same as Butters.
Yeah, but Stats guy, the predictor has him winning by 6 votes.
2 votes, the AFL one, which is ridiculous.
Love it. All right. The Neil one is a bit weird for me because, again, I think there's votes being stolen there.
Same as Butters as well. You got Rosie.
I feel like Butters might be the one that does stand out there because it was literally like while Rosie was sort of impacting the game alongside Butters was very clearly like the number 1 dude on that team.
Towards the second after, I wouldn't be surprised if Rosie gets a couple of 3 votes. So, we'll see.
Great market. Love it. Stats guy. All right.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.